the first day is the hardest, of fasting. If you ever went to a whole day, the first day is always the hardest because your body is saying, yeah, but it's noon. Yeah, but it's 8 a.m. Yeah, but it's 6 p.m. Yeah, but that's what your body is doing. And the best is to get out of the kitchen, do another project, like something you're really interested in, photography or nature or walking or whatever, something you're really interested in. And the other thing that's helpful is green tea. They feel like these things are a good way to break into fasting. Later you can maybe do all water fasting, but in the beginning, teas. I've got a million different teas with a million different flavors, but this one I really like, which is Good Earth sweet and spicy tea, because it's got a lot of cinnamon, and I put in some apple cider vinegar in there, because then you're doing double, and it's like a real treat, to drink some of these things. Or like they said, turmeric tea or ginger tea or cinnamon tea, or there's certain mushrooms that are very good for you, chaga and reishi tea, that are made out of mushrooms. These things are really helpful to help you get through that hump. And it's really, the first day is the hardest. After that, you kind of get on a high where you feel like, oh, I don't have to eat. I don't have to spend all that time, figuring, where am I going to grocery shop? Where am I going to cook? Where am I going to chop? Where am I going to, cook? All those things. It gives you kind of a high where you feel like, oh, I didn't even need to eat today.
Right.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Want me to talk more?
Yeah, I was going to ask whether or not you recommend it to everyone. But I'm going to guess you obviously do, right? Yeah.
I do. And this can be very simple. Just tell yourself, I'm going to skip breakfast. Just start out with that. Don't go for a 24, 48 hour, right now, the first thing.
Right.
Just say, I'm going to just skip breakfast. I'm going to go do something fun. What I do is I kind of get up a little bit later, and then by the time I shower, and by the time I go out for lunch or something, then it's lunchtime already, kind of distracting myself, not sitting around the kitchen looking at the food, And the longer you fast, the deeper you have what's called autophagy. Autophagy is when your system is cleaning itself out. And just picture, it's like taking your car into, Jiffy Lube,
right,
and getting it tuned up and getting the oil changed and getting things refreshed and getting things repaired. Just kind of picture that, and what they say for fasting, do 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating. So if you go ahead and go till 8 p.m., with eating, that's not so hard to do. Eat all your meals between noon and 8 p.m. Then that gives you if you sleep, that counts as fasting. And that gives you the 16 hours of fasting, I really want to recommend, Dr. Eric Berg is the king of fasting. He is the king.
Wow.
He really believes in intermittent fasting. And the beauty is he is on YouTube, just 100% free.
Wow.
100% free. Dr. Eric Berg. And he always uses a little whiteboard, and he explains everything so well. And if you miss something, you can just back it up and hear it again.
Yeah.
So I really highly recommend him. And then the other big guru in intermittent fasting is Dr. Michael Mosley. Both of these people are doctors. This is not a made-up thing that's, doesn't have any weight to it,
right.
The fast diet, because he really explains, why you're doing this and what good it's doing you. And, they're really good books. And what Dr. Berg always says is, when you go off the fast, try and go gluten-free. I always say that to people who are thinking about getting knee surgery or hip surgery. Go gluten-free for 2 weeks and see if you feel better. It's free,
Yeah.
And I come from farm country,
Mm-hmm.
and before they put the seed in the ground, they treat it with chemicals, so that the birds don't want to eat it, and
Mm-hmm.
so that it doesn't, sprout and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's in the ground, they treat it with weed killer. It's a poison.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's in the ground, they treat it with fertilizer. It's another poison.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they pull it out of the ground and put it in the granaries, they put toxic chemicals on it so that the rats don't want to eat it.
Mm-hmm.
So we might not even be reacting to the gluten, but we're reacting to all the poisons they put on, the wheat, So they say wheat, oats, barley, rye. Some oats are safe, but for sure avoiding wheat. Flour and sugar is what Dr. Berg would say. Trying to avoid flour and sugar, but some people just say eat anything you want, in the beginning, just to make yourself not feel deprived. But it's better to avoid flour and sugar. And if you go gluten-free, you'll get a chance to test if you are reacting to gluten too.
Right.
And these two doctors recommend the keto diet. And the keto is where you eat 75% good fat, like avocados and oil, olive oil and things, 20% protein, and 5% carbs. So more or less think, I'm not going to eat any carbs. My carbs will come out of my fruits and vegetables if I do eat any, and then just do protein and fat, and that helps you lose weight. And the other thing that goes hand in hand with this is OMAD, 1 meal a day. So when you get better at this, you aren't feeling deprived, skipping your breakfast. And then if you make it till 3:00 and you eat one meal at 3:00 and quit, it's going to help with weight loss. It's going to help with, your body going into autophagy and detoxing. And, but that's a stretch, and that's for, when you're really ready. And there's actually Facebook groups on these things, OMAD, OMAD, 1 meal a day. And on intermittent fasting, there's Facebook groups, and I've joined them, and they're very kind of helpful because you go on and they go, I'm on my 3rd day of fasting. You go, well, I'm just on my 1st. I guess I can keep going. So it does give you support, And of course, we always have to say, consult a doctor.
Right.
But the doctors don't know about this. My GP always says, you should eat 3 meals a day. And I go, well, I've been doing that for 66 years and it's not working. Let's try something new. Yeah. But my diabetic doctor believes this is really important, and that this is what's been more successful than anything else in getting my blood sugar down.
Wow.
By waiting and putting off the first meal in the day, letting my blood sugar adjust. So the longer you can go, the deeper the cleaning, the deeper the autophagy. So yes, I do highly recommend it.
Awesome. Yes. Well, yeah. That sounds great. And I want to say thank you for spending time to talk to us and taking the time to share what you've learned throughout your journey. So to all our viewers, thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you liked what you saw, please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're interested in joining in one of these chats, send an email to talkthegap@gmail.com. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Carol. And bye-bye, viewers.
Thank you.